What's up, guys? This is Doodoo Poker for DriveHUD for my second video. I wanted to go over a cool hand I played in another 3-bet pot. So let's get into the action. In the first video, I misplayed my hand, and in this video, I think I played my hand well. So let's see how it goes. All right, hijack opens, cutoff calls. We're in the big blind with ace of spades, queen of spades. If you note, we are over 200 big blinds deep at 2 cent, 5 cent. Our 3-bet range, the deeper we get, wants to be more weighted towards high suited cards and connected cards, and then hands like ace queen offsuit, ace jack offsuit would get dropped out in favor of hands like jack 9 suited and queen 9 suited, or maybe even king 9 suited. But you definitely want to drop out your high unsuited cards. So let's see what happens. All right. One thing to note here, sizing. He opens, he's around 200 big blinds deep. Blot is probably around 166, and I am around 200. First thing to note, you want your sizing to go down the deeper you are. So if we were 100 big blinds deep and he opened 3x and cutoff called 3x, we would make it between 5 and 6x here. So it would be probably like 80 cents. But the reason we size down the deeper we are is because position naturally goes up in EV. So I illustrated this in a little solve action I did. Let's watch this. Okay. So I ran the solve for 100 big blinds and 200 big blinds, and let me show you my squeeze range. This was my squeeze range: aces, kings, queens, jacks, 10s, 9s, and then I have the suited connectors at 50. Ace 5, ace 4 at 50. I threw ace queen in there, but you could probably drop that out. And then I have the ace X, the strong ace X suiteds, and king queen suited at 100. And then this is his calling range. It's hard to completely simulate a perfect range here, but I gave him a wider calling range than my squeezing range, so I think that's pretty accurate. All right, so now let's go back to the hand. Now, look at the actual hand, 200 big blinds. So this is for us, big blind c-bet sizing. Look at the EV, 25% sizing, 18.65 EV at near 100% frequency. 33, 18.57. Okay. Now look at this EV for 100 big blinds. Now it's 19.06 EV, 19.03 EV. Look at the EV jump from 200 to 100. That's because position naturally goes up in value the deeper you are. So conversely, when you're out of position, your EV will be less. So that was a cool point. That's why we should be sizing down, contrary to popular belief, the deeper we are. Okay, so I ran the sizings for 200 big blinds deep, 18.65, 18.57, 18.25, and then it naturally goes down. So with this, we want to be betting between 25 and 33% pot for the highest EV sizing. on a king, queen, 6 board. Now, a lot of people don't realize that this is a range bet, but we can't check call here because that would be a huge mistake. Look at the EV for checking. 18.66 EV versus 14.7 EV. So betting is literally 25% more profitable than checking. That's a very important point. We don't want to split our range into checks and bets. This is just always a bet. It's a bet at 200 big blinds, and it's a bet at 100 big blinds for small sizing at 100% frequency. Okay, so let's see how this hand played out. I decided to bet small sizing. I was proud of myself for that. I bet 49 cents, which is around 10 big blinds, into a around 32 big blind pot. Now is where it gets interesting. I get raised. Okay. Let's think about this for a second. Think about my range here. I squeeze pre-flop, so I can have every aces, every top set, every queens. I can't have sixes because I would probably just call that pre-flop. I can't have queen 6 or king 6. I can have king queen suited, so that's 2 combos. And I can't have ace king. So think about all the better hands you can have here. We can have 6 combos of aces. We can have 3 combos of kings. We can have 3 combos of queens. That's 12 combos. We can have every ace king. That's another 12 combos because 4 aces and 3 kings. Okay, so that would be 24 combos. And then we can have 2 combos of king queen suited. So this is the 27th best combo we can have. So let's plug this into the solver and see what it does. So we'll say in position raises. Now how do we react to that? Well, interestingly, we mostly call. We only raise 10% of our range. Let's see what ace queen of spades does. Always calls. So, when we look at it from the hijack's perspective, think about what hands he can have. Sure, he can have kings and queens. Those are possible. They may be slightly discounted because they'll 4-bet at some frequency. Sixes, definitely in his range. King 6, no. Queen 6, no. King Queen suited, yes. King Queen offsuit, not so much. King Queen suited, yes. Ace King, yes. But he shouldn't really have a raising range here because I have a stronger range. And he's opening himself up to getting 3-bet. So that's really important. You don't want to raise in a spot where, first of all, you're deep. Second of all, you're in position. So by raising, you're negating your positional advantage. So if you're raising here, your positional advantage is going to go out the window if I 3-bet. So instead, you should be calling your whole range here. So from my perspective, I have my 27th best combo. I have a backdoor flush draw, and I'm blocking his strongest hands. I'm blocking ace king. I'm blocking king queen. I'm blocking queens. So I should continue here. So that is what I do. Remember, we're 200 big blinds deep. Now it's going to get scary. Turn king of hearts. Now, at first, that may look like a scary card. That's actually a great card. That means him having kings is less likely. He has 1 combo of king queen suited. He already had that in the flop. Now he only has 3 aces, 2 kings, 6 combos of ace king. If he has sixes, we actually have outs now. So that king is probably one of the best cards in the deck for us, even though it doesn't look like it. But we should still check. Let's see what the solver does. Raise, call, king of hearts. See? We always check 99.2% of the time. Okay. Let's see. Let's see what our opponent does as we check. He bets 51 big blinds into us. So now is where it gets scary. Now we're thinking, okay, if we call this, are we going to have to call a huge 100 big blind shove on the river? I don't know. But what you do in poker is you plan for the next street, but you do play every street independently. So every street is separate. So I'm going to play the turn. I played the flop. I was the 27th best combo in my range. I call. Now I go to the turn. The king is the best card in the deck, so I should be continuing on this turn. Yes, you can have sixes. Yes, you can have ace king. But the combos got decreased. And you can't play the game of what is he bluffing here. That is the one game you cannot play because you don't know what people are thinking. When you play that game, you're going to end up making more mistakes than not. So the game I play is where am I in my range? Am I high up in my range, or am I middle of my range, or am I low at the range? In this situation, I'm high in my range. So I should be calling, which I do. I was very scared in the moment, just to let you know. Very scared. Okay. River, blank of all blanks. 5 of diamonds. All right. So he bets. Let's go to our solver. Ace queen of spades should be calling because we are at the top of our range. On the river, we should always check 100% of the time. This is because all we're beating here are bluffs. That's all we're beating. But sometimes when your bluff catcher is so strong and your kicker discounts the top of his continuing range, like ace king, I have an ace, so I cut down the combos of ace king from literally, how many combos would there be? There'd be 8 combos. Now I cut it down to 6. I also cut down king queen combos. Instead of 2 king queen suited combos, there's only 1 king queen suited combos. Yes, if he has 6s, I lose. But we're too high in our range to fold. We don't want to play the game. Excuse me. We don't want to play the game of, is this guy bluffing or not? That is one game we do not want to play. So let's see what happens. I end up checking to him. And he goes all in. Now we have a decision. Think about all the better hands we can have. We can have ace king. We can have kings. We can have queens. And we can have aces. Ironically, I do think ace queen is a better call down here than aces. That's because we want to block 2 pair. Blocking king queen is very important. Blocking queens is very important. So ace queen would be a better call down with aces, although they should both be calls. So let's go to the solver. We check. He bets. Wow, actually, the solver does fold aces, but calls with ace queen. That is very interesting. I did not know that. So aces should be a fold because of the king-queen combos and the queen combos, but ace-queen would be a call. This is where relative hand strength is more important than absolute hand strength. Even though aces is a stronger hand from an absolute value standpoint, ace queen is a better hand because we block more of his value range. So I time bank, and this is a huge pot for a 2-cent, 5-cent game. I end up calling for a 400 BB pot, and let's see what happens. Pocket sevens, and I scoop. This is why you can't try to think of bluffs, and if you can't find any bluffs, then you just give up. This is where you have to play your range, play a GTO strategy, and that will hold you against people because people are very unpredictable. You can't predict that he's going to raise pocket sevens on the flop, bomb the turn, and then ship the river in a 400 BB pot. So what you do is you play your own range. You don't worry about his range. If you're at top of your range, you make the call down. And if he has sixes here, then that's how it goes. So I thought that was a very interesting hand. Huge pot that I actually played well. And I hope you guys learned something. The difference between 100 BB stacks and 200 BB stacks. Remember, when you're 3-betting out of position, the deeper you are, the lower your sizing is. That's because position naturally goes up in value the deeper you are. This can be evidenced as in this 19.07 and then 18.65 for 200 BBs. That's because it's less EV the deeper you are, because out of position gains less EV. So that's a very important point. But I hope you guys learned something, and I'll see you guys for the next video. This is Doo Doo Poker for DriveHUD.